All right, today we're talking about a massive gamble. I mean, think about this. A country with some of the lowest internet access on the entire planet has just decided to bet its future on Bitcoin. So we're going to unpack exactly why they did it and what it could mean for all of us. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Out of every single country in the world, only two have officially adopted Bitcoin as their national currency. Just two. That's it. And that brings us to the big question, right? Why on earth would the Central African Republic, a nation facing, some incredible challenges, be one of them? Let's really get into this pretty surprising decision. So this whole thing really kicks off with a completely shocking announcement. I'm talking about a decision that sent real tremors through the entire global financial system. And honestly, shockwaves is the perfect word for it. This wasn't some slow, gradual policy change. Nope. It was a sudden, all-in leap into a brand new financial world, and it made a huge statement on the global stage. So what does that actually mean in practice, right? Legal tender. Well, it means the government has officially said this is real money. In theory, you could use it for anything, buying groceries, paying your taxes, right alongside their other currency, the CFA franc. And that bit is really key because the CFA franc is tied to the euro and has historical links to France, which a lot of people see as a form of outside control. And you've got to understand, this decision was also a huge historical first. The Central African Republic became the very first nation on the entire African continent to do this. I mean, that's a pioneering move, whether it works out or not. But, as you can probably guess, not everyone was thrilled about this. The traditional gatekeepers of global finance, well, they were very quick to sound the alarm. Yeah, the pushback was immediate, it was loud, and it came from one of the most powerful financial institutions on the planet, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. And here's what they were so worried about. The IMF wasn't being vague at all. They pointed to some really big risks, major threats to financial stability, a serious lack of transparency, and a huge potential for illegal stuff like money laundering. So the takeaway here is that the traditional powers that be in finance see this as a really, really dangerous path to go down. Okay, but that's only one side of the story, right? For the folks in charge in the Central African Republic, this move wasn't about taking a crazy risk. For them, it was about taking control of their own economic future. And this really lays out the two completely different ways of looking at it. On one side, you've got the problems with the old system, a currency that's not stable and a ton of influence from outside forces. But on the other side, you have the promise of Bitcoin. It's seen as an escape valve from that old system, a shot at real digital sovereignty, and maybe, just maybe, a way to attract brand new investment and technology from around the world. So you have this high-level debate going on, right? Global institutions versus national ambition. But what does all this grand experiment actually look like for the people on the ground? And this is where the big idea really hits a wall. I mean, a digital currency needs digital infrastructure, obviously, but the CAR faces these massive hurdles. Think about it. Only about 1 in 10 people even has internet access. And even fewer have reliable electricity. It's a huge problem. Which brings us to the fundamental question at the heart of this whole thing. How can a country run on a currency that needs a smartphone and an internet connection when most of its people don't have either? It's just a giant practical question mark hanging over the entire project. Okay, but let's zoom out one last time, because whether this succeeds or fails on the ground right away, this move is a massive gamble that could have ripple effects all over the world. I mean, you really can't overstate the symbolic value here. Even with all the problems, this decision forces the entire world to face a new reality. Bitcoin is now a legit state-recognized asset. It's no longer just some speculative thing in the shadows. It's on the world's political stage. And people are watching this so closely because it really could be the first domino to fall. If this works, even a little bit, it could set off a chain reaction. You might see other countries in similar situations thinking, hey, maybe this is a way forward for us too. And so that leaves us with the big, unanswered question. The Central African Republic has placed its bet. It's a huge gamble for its financial future. And believe me, the world is watching. So will this incredibly high-stakes gamble actually pay off? Well, that's a story that's still being written.